When the angel's voice resumed, the light upon Mount Sinai grew softer, less like fire, more like dawn. Moses, he said, after the sons of Noah divided the lands, the generations of men multiplied again. And though the rainbow still shone in the clouds, the hearts of men turned once more toward pride. They forgot the covenant and built kingdoms for themselves. In the land of Shinar, the people said, "Come, let us build a city, and a tower whose top will reach the heavens. Let us make a name for ourselves, lest we be scattered." But the Lord saw their unity turn toward arrogance, their language used for rebellion, and their labor for vanity. He confounded their speech, so that they no longer understood one another. Then he scattered them across the face of the earth, and the tower, which they called Babel, stood unfinished, a monument to human pride. Among the scattered families, one line alone preserved the whisper of righteousness, the house of Aber from which the Hebrews would come. Generations passed until a man named Abram, son of Terah, was born in the land of Ur. From his youth he wondered about the heavens, the sun, and the stars. "Who made these?" he asked, "and who set them in their courses?" His father Terah was a maker of idols, selling false gods to his people. But Abram, filled with the spirit of truth, mocked them. One day he broke his father's idols and cried, "You are no gods, you have eyes but you see not, ears but you hear not. There is one alone, the creator of all." The people were enraged, and Terah, fearing them, delivered his son to King Nimrod. But by the providence of heaven, Abram was spared. The angel of the presence smiled as he told it. The Most High chose him, a man alone in a world of deceit, to restore the covenant of creation. The Lord said to Abram, "Leave your country and your father's house, and go to a land that I will show you. I will bless you and make your name great, and through you all nations of the earth shall be blessed." So Abram journeyed forth with his wife Sarai and his nephew Lot, guided by visions and promises. Abram wandered through the lands of Canaan, building altars wherever the Lord appeared to him. When famine came, he went to Egypt, and there his faith was tested. But each trial made him stronger. Years passed, and still he had no son. One night, beneath the great canopy of stars, the Lord spoke again. "Look up at the heavens and count the stars, and if you can, so shall your descendants be." Abram believed, and it was counted to him as righteousness. Then the angel said, "The Lord made a covenant with Abram that night, a covenant of promise sealed by blood and light. It was written on the heavenly tablets that his seed would inherit the land forever. The tides Kubain dans bin beide Porsider Bubart Pura Kuridans. Ik can sign den I'd wine for pine bees der dine interdan and Daninstan. Ababad in fine and foreign country for 400 years. In the 12th Jubilee, when Abram was 99 years old, the Lord appeared once more and said, "Walk before me and be perfect. I am El Shaddai, God Almighty. You shall keep my covenant, you and your descendants after you. This is my sign. Every male among you shall be circumcised." And Abram obeyed without hesitation. He circumcised himself, his household, and all who were with him, establishing the mark of holiness in flesh, a sign that his descendants were bound forever to the covenant of God. From that day, his name was changed to Abraham, meaning father of many nations, and Sarai became Sarah, princess of the covenant. Soon the angelic messengers visited Abraham at the oaks of Mamre. They told him, "Your wife Sarah shall bear a son." She laughed in her heart, for she was old, but the angel said, "Is anything too hard for the Lord?" And, in due time, the promised child was born. Abraham named him Isaac, meaning laughter, for joy and wonder filled the tents of his house. When the child was weaned, Abraham made a great feast, but Ishmael, the son of Hagar, mocked. At Sarah's word and by God's will, Ishmael was sent away, for the covenant would rest upon Isaac, the child of promise. Then came the greatest test of all. The Lord spoke to Abraham in the stillness of night, "Take now your son, your only son Isaac whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah. Offer him there as a burnt offering." Abraham rose early and obeyed. For 3 days he journeyed with Isaac, carrying wood and fire, but no lamb. When they reached the mountain, Isaac asked, "My father, where is the lamb for the offering?" Abraham's voice trembled, saying, "God himself will provide the lamb, my son." He bound Isaac upon the altar and raised the knife, and then the angel of the Lord called from heaven, "Abraham, Abraham, do not lay your hand upon the child, for now I know that you fear God." A ram was caught in a nearby thicket, and it was offered in Isaac's place. The angel's voice grew warm as he spoke. Thus the Lord swore by himself that Abraham's descendants would be as countless as the stars, and that through them all nations would find blessing. In his old age, Abraham gathered his sons and taught them the laws of righteousness, commands not yet given to Moses but already known to the faithful. "Do not walk in the ways of the Canaanites," he said. "Keep yourself pure in marriage, honor the poor and the stranger. Let justice and mercy guide your heart." Then Abraham was shown the vision of coming generations, Israel's exile and return, their sin and redemption. He wept, but the angel comforted him, saying, "The Lord will remember his covenant, for he does not abandon his people." When his time came, Abraham lay down in peace, full of days, surrounded by Isaac and Ishmael reconciled. Angels received his soul with honor, and his name was written among the righteous on the tablets of heaven. The angel's voice quieted, and Moses sat in awe. "Thus," said the angel, "was the covenant renewed in Abraham, a covenant not of stone, but of faith. Through him, the nations were invited to holiness, and through his obedience the pattern of all righteousness was revealed, for from one man's faith, the world was offered blessing." The wind on Sinai whispered like prayer, and Moses, hearing of Abraham's courage and God's enduring mercy, bowed low, knowing that the same covenant would soon be sealed again, in fire and word, for the children of Israel.